Mice are one of the most common pests around the world. These rodents learned long ago that living around humans is the best way to ensure a constant food supply, especially due to the invention of agriculture. Unfortunately, mice and other rodents carry numerous diseases that make them hazardous to the health of you and your family. When you're plagued by rodents, rather than employing the traditional method of using traps, why don't you take into consideration the use of a bait? Presently, baits are one of the most effective ways to eliminate a population because they act slow, can be spread throughout the entire population, and fit in hard-to-reach places where mice like to hide. To help you choose the best one, kindly take a good look at these 5 great mouse baits. How to choose a mouse bait. Not all mouse baits work the same, and it's important to find one that works for your unique situation. Ideally, you should pick a bait that can be placed throughout the interior and exterior without posing a danger to other animals like pets. Soft baits work best in attracting mice because they are easy to chew and shareable with other mice. A great mouse bait will work fast in killing a mouse before it even has any chance to breed or cause a ruckus in your home. So, based on this information, the characteristics you need to look for are in its ease of use, convenience, safety, and how fast the poison acts. The bait should be easy to use because you're unlikely to use something that you'll have to struggle and set up. It should also be placed in convenient locations because mice will always go to the easiest food source rather than moving further away from their nest. Finally, you should ensure that the bait you get is a slow poison type and won't attract children and pets. When the poison is slow, the mice will have a chance to share and kill others. Advantages of mouse bait. Mouse bait comes with numerous advantages. For one thing, it's cheap and effective. Poisonous bait also works fast enough to kill mice before they breed, but slow enough for them to share it with the nest and kill off the rest of its breed by accident. Professionals recommend using bait as a measure only when there are a huge number of mice that are difficult to eliminate. However, most baits work well indoors and outdoors and are designed to only attract mice and not other animals like cats and deer. So be careful about where you place the bait. What to know before using bait. Remember that bait is not just dangerous for mice, but for other animals as well. Thus, place a bait where the mice can reach it, but your pets and children cannot. In many cases, this could mean forcing it into holes where cats, dogs, and children aren't tempted to taste or eat the bait. Also, before carrying a bait, remember to wear gloves when handling it so none of the ingredients spread to you. Most of the pesticides in baits are anticoagulants, also known as blood thinners. This can be dangerous when taken in by the human body, so always exercise caution. Next, be sure the mice will find the bait tempting. The simplest way to do this is by clearing out all other food sources, sealing packages of cereals, and other foodstuffs before placing the bait. Also, make sure the bait is accessible, identify the areas where the mice feast most, and then place it there. If you're worried about the bait being unattractive, try buying a product that specifically includes a rodent-attractive scent, such as peanut butter or fish. You won't be able to smell it, but the mice can and will notice. Check out a few of these efficient baits. JT Eaton 709PN Bait Block. The JT Eaton 709PN bait block comes in a large pail with 144 single-ounce blocks of mice bait and poison. The blocks are greenish with small seeds inside, designed to attract mice and rats with an appealing smell. In respect to attractiveness, JT Eaton flavors the blocks with peanut butter and an anticoagulant called difascinone, which causes internal bleeding and then death. One good thing about the bait is that, not only is it efficient in attracting and killing rodents, it can either be used indoors or outdoors. Unlike a lot of products, this one comes with a warranty so it can be returned if it doesn't work well. Pros. Attracts mice with its peanut butter flavor. Active ingredient, difascinone. Includes 1-year limited warranty. Works on mice and rats. Inexpensive. Cons. Melts on hot days. Exposed. Tomcat all-weather bait chunks. The Tomcat all-weather bait chunks is a farm's favorite, primarily designed to eliminate rodents like mice and rats. The bait comes in the form of a greenish chunk that is made from human-grade food that has been processed and preserved. Not only can it maintain a tantalizing smell for the mice, but it is also mold-like and has a moisture-resistant, which can sustain it for weeks without damage. The active ingredient in this chunk is diphacinone, which acts slow enough that multiple mice can eat the chunks and spread the poisoned bait to the nest. Pros: made from human-grade food chunks. Works indoors and outdoors. Mold and moisture resistant. Active ingredient, diphacinone. Cons: melts on hot days. Exposed: Motomco jaguar mouse and rat bait chunks. The Motomco jaguar mouse and rat bait chunks are red chunks that have an active ingredient called berdificome. This ingredient is an anticoagulant that causes slow internal bleeding, giving the mice time to bring it back to the nest and share it with others. The ingredients also work as a desiccant, drying out and mummifying the dead mice, so users aren't left with a horrible dead mouse smell. Besides the poison, the Motomco jaguar bait has an attractive smell and color for rodents like mice and rats. Also, it can be used internally or externally. However, the only downside is that the bait is too exposed, thus making it a threat to be kept around pets and children. Pros: active ingredient, berdificome. Desiccant eliminates dead smell. Attractive smell for rodents. Cons: exposed. Farnham just 1 bite 2 bait chunks. The Farnham just 1 bite 2 bait chunks is an inexpensive way to eliminate mice and rats that plague agricultural buildings and farms, especially during the tough summer months. This bait is inexpensive and comes in an 8 pounds tub, providing enough bait to work for years or treat a massive infestation. While this bait should only be used outside, it's good at attracting mice thanks to its pungent aroma. The active ingredient in this bait is another anticoagulant called bromadiolone. This kills rats and mice rapidly, but can still give some time for it to be spread to the rest of the nest. It's unique in that it has a great agricultural strength and is meant to be used only externally. Finally, it works well around buildings and stops an infestation from getting inside. Pros: inexpensive. Active ingredient, bromadiolone. Contains 8 pounds of bait. Cons: should only be used on farms. Neogen rodenticide ramic mouse and rat bars. The Neogen rodenticide ramic mouse and rat bars are a highly effective bait that can be used indoors and outdoors. The bars are easy to place in less accessible areas and has enough bait to attract multiple waves of rodents. The bars are mold and moisture resistant, which means they barely decompose and can survive for weeks in a single location. Each bar is designed to have an alluring scent to entice mice and a pungent fish flavor that is delicious to rodents. The active ingredient is once again a coagulant meant to kill slowly, allowing the poison to be spread throughout the entire nest. Each bar has enough to kill an entire population of 100 mice or rats. Pros: mold and moisture resistant. Controls mice and rats. For indoor and outdoor use. Fish flavored. Active ingredient, diphacinone. Cons: exposed design. Conclusion: there are tons of different mouse baits offered by manufacturers, but one of the best amongst them is the Neogen rodenticide ramic mouse and rat bars. This is because these bars can survive in multiple environments and do not decompose as rapidly as other baits. That's not all, as these bars can also be used indoors and outdoors, making them essential for not only stopping, but also preventing a mouse infestation. Finally, they are slow-acting and will kill a mouse over time, giving the rodent enough time to bring it back to the nest before killing them all. When all else fails, try the bars. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.